I sat there, staring into the void, trying to collect myself. You might wonder why. Just moments before, my wife Jane had looked me dead in the eye and calmly asked if she could cuckold me for an entire week. My name is Mike, and to be honest, I already knew the answer before she even opened her mouth. There was a certain shift in her energy lately, a tension wrapped in curiosity, but I had hoped, naively, that she wouldn't actually say the words out loud. I needed a second to catch my breath, to keep from reacting too harshly, but more than that, I needed to answer with a cool head. See, I have a track record of doing stupid things, and I won't even deny it. I've earned the title of idiot more than once, and I wear like a name tag. But this one hit differently. It all started about a week ago at my sister Barbara's backyard barbecue. There were 15 couples mingling around, drinks flowing, laughter echoing off the fence posts, smoke from the grill curling into the summer sky. It was a kind of night that makes you forget about responsibilities and just enjoy being alive, until someone decided to stir the pot. "Let's play Truth or Dare," someone shouted, and just like that, the energy shifted. My sister Barbara, ever the instigator, jumped in first. She dared her husband, Tim, to give Karen, another guest, a foot massage. We all laughed, expecting the usual teasing. Karen's husband, Jeff, didn't even flinch. In fact, he chuckled and told Tim to wash his hands afterward, adding that Karen's feet were like concrete. But then came the comment that flipped my whole reality. As Tim rubbed Karen's feet, Barbara casually asked, "So, how's the cuckolding going?" The word hit like a grenade. A few of us husbands choked on our drinks. Our eyes darting around confirmed we weren't the only ones shocked. I glanced at Jeff, expecting confusion or denial, but he didn't blink. He smiled and said, without a hint of bitterness, "Karen has 3 lovers now. She's actually looking to add a few more." What? My brain stuttered. I wanted to reach across the table and shake him, shout, "Are you serious? What the hell is wrong with you?" But I caught Jane's look, the kind that could freeze a forest fire. Her eyes warned me not to embarrass her, not to question what clearly wasn't as taboo here as I thought. So I kept my mouth shut, took another long swig of beer, and stared at the bottle like it had answers. I thought, where the hell is Captain Morgan when I need him? Listening to all this felt like chewing on nails. And yet, there I was, being the quiet, obedient husband. Because at the end of the day, no matter how foolish I've been, I knew this was the moment everything started to change. I sat there, silent, still recovering from the shock. Around me, laughter and conversation carried on, but I was lost in my own thoughts. Try to process what I'd just heard. Jeff, completely unfazed, was describing how thrilling it was to watch his wife, Karen, get double-teamed. That was my breaking point. I stood up, murmured something vague, and headed for the bathroom, my only escape. I stayed in there for almost 20 minutes, whispering arguments to myself like some poor madman. I had to keep my voice low. Any louder, and they might have called someone to check on me. Once I had cooled off a bit, I opened the door, only to be greeted by Barbara, my sister, standing with her hands on her hips and a look that screamed I had just ruined her party. "What's up, sis?" I asked, trying to act casual. Barbara, in her usual nosy, passive-aggressive way, immediately launched into a scolding. "How the hell can you be so mean?" Mean? I haven't said a word. I protested. I promised Jane I'd behave, and I've been a good boy. But Barbara wasn't finished. She started going on about how Jeff was showing real love for Karen by allowing her to sleep with other men. According to her, when Karen finished exploring, their bond would be stronger. I had to ask, out of pure disbelief, how in God's name does sleeping with other men make a couple stronger? She was clearly taken aback by my tone. Maybe because I'm the older sibling, or maybe because I wasn't playing along like everyone else. Then she told me I should be more understanding, that I should open my mind. This is what women want, she claimed. I wanted to laugh. Hell, I didn't even fully understand what my wife wanted, and we'd been married for over a decade. I looked her dead in the eye. Has your husband, Tim, opened his mind to this idea? Barbara hesitated before answering. I haven't asked him yet. I wanted Jeff to bring it up to the husbands first. That was the last straw. For the first time in my life, I genuinely wanted to slap some sense into my sister. Barbara, if you bring this up to Tim and he says yes, I'll watch your kids while you go on your little man hunting trips. I'll even wash your damn car. But I won't ever leave you alone with my wife again. With that, I left her standing there and returned to the barbecue. Jeff was chatting with Karen, Jane, and a few other wives. The guys were by the grill, waiting for my take on everything. Tim was the first to ask. I didn't hold back. If Jane even thinks about doing that, I'll be out the door before you can scratch your left nut. If I find out she's cheated, is cheating, or is planning to cheat, I'll divorce her before her lover's mess even dries. I don't care what Jeff is into. It's his life. He can swing, swap, or whatever else, but it's not for me. As I finished, Jane approached and said it was time to leave. We said our goodbyes and started the 45-minute drive home. Before we had even left the neighborhood, she spoke. You shouldn't judge a lifestyle until you try it. I had to ask myself, do I argue now or wait until I've had a bit more affection? Like I said, I'm an idiot. I chose peace for the moment. The whole drive, she kept bringing up Jeff. Jeff this, Jeff that. I wanted to scream. If you like Jeff so much, why didn't you go marry him? When we got home, Jane started rubbing my leg, and sure enough, I knew where things were going. That night was unforgettable. And the next 7 nights, even more so. Twice a day, every day. I thought I was living in a fantasy. Then came day 8. Jane looked at me, soft-eyed, a bit hesitant. Mike, can we talk about something without you getting mad? After the week you just gave me? We can talk about anything, I said, grinning. She bit her lip, and I knew the script before she even started. You know I love you, right? I love you more each day. But I think we need to spice things up. The warning bells in my head were deafening. Mike, don't say anything until I finish, she added. You always say no before hearing me out. Okay, you finish, then I'll say no, I replied, half joking. Then she dropped it. If you really love me, I want you to agree to be a cuckold for just 1 week. She gave me that wide-eyed, pouty-lipped, helpless little girl look. It almost worked. Almost. I took a deep breath. Jane, I love you. More than anything. I want to grow old with you, raise a family, make you happy. But the only thing I can say to that is, hell no, you crazy woman. If you ever bring that crap up again, I'll burn the house down and move to Canada. If you want a cuckold, buy a bird. Then I grabbed my keys and went to Angel's, my favorite sports bar. Kevin, the bartender, knows how to make a killer Long Island. Start me a tab, Kev. I'm going to need it. I hadn't even finished my second drink when Jeff and Tim walked in. They flanked me on either side like I was about to be interrogated. Jeff looked irritated. Mike, what the hell, man? You nearly ruined the barbecue. We've been planning this for weeks. I must have looked confused because Tim patted my back. Just listen. Turns out Tim and Jeff had been filming Karen with all 3 of her lovers. Playing along, not because they liked it, but to gather evidence. Tim's lawyer told him it would help during the divorce, since in Texas, adultery still matters. Karen and her lover were even trying to pull him into a threesome to make it look consensual. But Tim never played ball. Karen was being served divorce papers. Right then, why give her anything at all? I asked. Jeff grinned. Because the house has 2 extra mortgages and is being foreclosed. The car's leased and hasn't been paid in months. I haven't paid a single bill. My paychecks go into my mom's account. Karen can have it all. It's all worthless. The beer kept flowing, and eventually I had to cab it home. Pretty sure I got there around 3 a.m., though I only made it as far as the flower bed. Jane heard the noise and came outside to find me passed out in her roses. After a heated argument that included her soaking me with a bucket of water, she finally snapped, Mike, did you know? Know what? Karen got served divorce papers last night. Good for her, I said. Now she's free to be with whoever she wants. So you didn't know? Hell no. I found out last night at the bar. Jane went quiet. Then softly, she said, Karen needs a place to stay for just a week. I sighed. Sure, but I'm not sure how she and Spike are going to fit in the doghouse. Mike, that's not funny. I think she needs a doctor to sew her legs shut, I muttered. Eventually, I gave in. We let Karen stay in the guest room, but not before I asked Jeff if he was okay with it. He didn't care. She can go wherever the hell she wants. Karen only made it through the first week. One night, while she and Jane were having wine on the patio, Karen asked if she could sleep with me. She said she needed sex. The next thing I heard was a glass shattering and screaming. Jane stormed inside, furious. "Mike, get this witch out of my house. Now!" She turned on Karen. "I can't believe I let you stay here. Get your things and get out." That night, after the chaos, I had a quiet revelation. Most women might not mind sharing a man, but they definitely don't want to share their own. So, what do I think about open relationships? They might work for some people, but for me, I'd rather keep my house intact, my sanity stable, and my roses untouched. Thanks for sticking around. Revenge might be sweet, but sometimes a lesson is sweeter. Stay tuned, and keep your love life private or at least drama-free.